Hi everyone, it's Roger and Abe here from DisKingdom.com with episode number 63 of the Infinity and Beyond podcast. And on this week's show, we're going to be discussing Disney Infinity 3.0, LEGO Dimensions, Superchargers, and maybe even throwing an Amiibo in there as well, because it's going to be a special feature discussion talking about the launch of Disney Infinity 3.0 and how the other brands are going to affect it and the changes this year. So, Abe, we're going to throw this one straight over to you because this is kind of the idea of, how do you feel the launch of 3.0 has gone?
Honestly, I thought it was great. Do I think they needed to be before everybody? No. I think maybe ahead of Dimensions, because I think they have been the heaviest hitter. Skylanders could have come out before Infinity. I still think Infinity would have done better. But overall, the launch, I think it's great. You have these really great, strong characters with Star Wars. You have the awesome, 5 motions from Inside Out, and some great Disney characters to go along with the launch. And we're not even touching, any Marvel characters yet. We're not even touching the brand new Star Wars side of the franchise. So it's like, it's a great launch. They started out with 2 play sets, 3 if you got the Saga bundle for PlayStation. But we just recently saw the launch of the 3rd play set, which was spaced out a month, and I think it's great. It's leaving a little bit of excitement for people, having something fresh, something new. I know we have a brand new expansion game disc coming in a couple of weeks. That's, again, gives you this anticipation, something to look forward to. But the launch has been great. Now, the only big roadblock that I've seen is something that we thought was going to be amazing, and I still think it probably will be amazing. It's hit a horrible amount of glitches, which is Flynn's Arcade. The ability to play online randomly with other people sounds great. It gives more replay value for those who want to play with people online. And unfortunately, it's caused glitch after glitch. Some people having minor glitches like appearing on other people's toy boxes or interiors, some losing save files, toy boxes, or me being the guinea pig getting the worst of all, which is losing absolutely every single character under your profile, under your Disney ID, losing some levels on some of the new characters. I was able to recoup some of the other ones, but anyways, I digress. So that's one of the biggest drawbacks for the launch, but otherwise, compared to the other titles that have, the other competitors per se, Amiibo obviously has made no difference with Amiibo, because Amiibo, all it is just random figures that come out, and no impact whatsoever with Infinity. Skylanders, I feel like Skylanders came out and we heard about it when it came out, and then it's like we forgot about it. Like, I haven't heard much about it after that. And then recently with Dimensions, I think Dimensions has been the biggest one who I think is causing a little bit of some type of competition there. But anyways, we'll divulge into that. Let's go ahead and go back to Roger and see what he thinks about launch.
I think they've actually had a really good launch. I think getting a month ahead of the competition was a massive good coup. I think they were able to really make the most of having, almost an entire couple of weeks to themselves. They were able to establish themselves. They were on the store on their own. They had a couple of weeks of kind of people playing the games and having a lot of attention on them. And they really were able to kind of build on that momentum, keep going. I think spacing out Rise of the Empire was a great idea. I mean, in all honesty, I think if it hadn't been part of the Saga bundle, I would have loved to have the idea of had that new play set this week to kind of play through. However, I do think they didn't really seem to promote it. It seemed to kind of drop off a little bit. I don't think it made as big an impact as it needed to. That week with going up against LEGO Dimensions, it felt like it kind of got lost in the shuffle amongst all the different websites and all the rest of it. But I do think having that month head start is done. I think Disney have got a massive, great advantage on their hands of having these 2 other play sets, The Force Awakens and Marvel, coming out so after the game, because as much as the competition are all out there, and if they got a Skylanders adventure pack or a Lego sort of level pack, they are not the same as a playset. And I think these playsets, they're really going to make a difference long term, because basically Disney Infinity are going to keep hitting big hits, because then in another month, when Star Wars comes out, the next one, they're going to have the entire month to themselves. They're going to be able to blast that one out and have as much press and coverage over that game as they want to, because the other ones are out. They've been there. Same thing happens next year when Marvel comes out. They've got a brand new, because as much as the Lego level packs are going to be spread out over a year, and there's more stuff coming later, I don't feel they've got the same, they've not got as much content, because people are reporting like 20 minutes to 40 minutes to an hour worth of level pack. It's not the same as a playset, and I think that's the big difference going forward. I think for as far as the launch goes, I think they had a really good build-up in the run-up to the launch. Great few weeks. But yeah, I do think Rise, they kind of didn't really push it as hard as they maybe should have done.
Yeah, that's true. Luckily, those characters were in the game, just sitting there waiting to be unlocked. So I guess those who did have the game kind of had that anticipation to get the Rise. But as far as competitors go, like Lego, I think Lego has been the biggest hitter. I think they're probably going to be the more successful of the other two competitors for Disney Infinity. Been hearing great reports about it. It's very fun. The fact that you have cross-platform, it's great. Don't get me wrong. That's cool that you can play as a certain, you can play as Gandalf in a Simpsons level or whatever. That's cool, but I mean that's not entirely non-existent in Disney Infinity, because it does exist in Disney Infinity. You have expansion games where you can do that. You have the toy box, which is what it's meant for.
Yeah.
So that kind of comparison never really has strength for me or for Roger, because again, that's just a horrible argument. But
I was just gonna jump on that one, because I think there was always this thing of like, when I've heard like people talk about like, oh my god, I can have Scooby-Doo ride on the Batmobile, and I can already do that in Infinity. I've been doing that for years. It doesn't. Yeah, these are new franchises we've never heard that we haven't got access to, but I think because of the toy box, I never really felt like that was, great. It's like, well, I can already do all of that. Okay, the playsets are locked down to a specific franchise, but I like that. I do like that about the fact that only the start. I don't want Spider-Man swinging through, trying to play the inside out level. That's not what it's for. It's a separate game, man. But like you said, that whole thing of breaking the rules and you can do what you want. Yeah, I've got to admit, the Star Wars stuff really helped this year with that. But yeah, it doesn't really inspire me to be brand new. You've had, the Hulk riding around on the, Monsters University mascot. We've been doing that for a year.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And what I was going to say about Lego, I mean, the cool thing about Lego is, yeah, you do have those cross IP characters you can play, and it's cool. And you do have awesome franchises that you get to play. That's probably one of the stronger parts of Lego. Not to mention, Lego is a very popular toy brand. The only issue that I have with it, and it's something that I brought up recently, is that with Lego, you can buy a Lego set that has 297 pieces where you can build a rideable vehicle, meaning you can actually put a minifigure in the vehicle and it'll ride in it, and a double decker couch from the Lego Movie, and 5 minifigs for the same price of one little minifig and an unrideable vehicle that you can use in LEGO Dimensions.
Yeah.
The price point, it bothers me. I mean, I get why they charge it, because it has an RFD chip that you can go inside the game, but I feel like they took advantage of Skylanders, Amiibo, and Disney Infinity setting a price point. Because to be honest with you, you can buy a LEGO minifig for $250 or $399 if you get the Halloween one. That should have been the price point plus a few extra bucks, in my opinion. And another thing that Lego does have over Disney Infinity that I brought up recently is that this weekend alone, I may have seen probably a total of 20 plus Lego Dimensions commercials, and they were on every single channel, like Animal Planet, Food Network. I was watching football today. They had it on our local national channels. I mean, they even had it on ABC, which is a Disney-owned channel. Now, as far as Disney Infinity commercials, I haven't seen one in about couple of weeks, and the last one that I saw was on Disney XD. So it's I don't know. Lego's really putting the word out there, and the way they promote on their commercial is awesome. So
yeah,
they got a lot of great voice talent too. So
yeah, the commercials have been running here in the UK. I don't think I've seen any commercials for 3.0 in the UK either. Jumping on that, I think for me, I think LEGO Dimensions has always been this. I think it's the strongest one because of all these different brands. People have got brands. You got Simpsons, Back to the Future. Even I feel like I want to play this game, and I think that's a big difference. But I was in the store this week and I saw them all on the art, and walked into the local video game store and on the local supermarket. You got a big rack of Infinity figures, a big rack of Skylanders figures, a big rack of Lego packets, and you pick the Lego packets up and you can shake them and they feel like Lego. But when I saw this display case, and I don't know why, and I know how big a minifigure is, but when I actually saw them, I was like, "What? They're tiny." It was just like. And I go, hold on, £15 for a tiny little thing this big. I mean, the only good thing I was looking at going, well, this isn't going to take up too much storage space. But, I think there's been a lot of the Infinity groups that are laughing have been talking about the game and, enjoying it. And I think there's been a big buzz about the fact that this game is enjoyable, it's fun. And I do admit I want to play it. And I like other Lego games. They've already got this thing, and this is like the 10th or 15th Lego game running. So they've got the platform, they've got what they're doing, they know what they're doing, and they keep improving. So they've already got this audience built in. But this price point is one thing that keeps coming up with all the different people on our group, and even on the Legos Dimension group that we've got, just sort of talking about the price being a major turnoff for people. And I think it's quite strange. It's kind of one of those things of it, with Skylanders and stuff. They had a lot of characters. But you never really heard this kind of complaint about price the same way.
Yeah, no, that's definitely true. I mean, don't get me wrong, Legos are great, but again, it's kind of hard for me to see, myself spending that much. Like, I probably will buy one or two, because I do think some of them are cool, but I don't see myself wanting to complete the collection because it is a ridiculous amount of money for a small little minifig. To be honest with you, all the Lego games before had just as many playable characters, except I didn't have to buy minifigs for them. So that was the only.
This week I downloaded the Jurassic Park demo. I didn't realize there was one on the PlayStation one because I was trying to find the Nathan Drake collection demo. And I sort of played through the Lego World level, and I'm going, well, I've just had like 5 characters where I didn't have to buy anything. And I was in the store, and I was trying to find it, and unfortunately, so that I was looking for the Vita version, the bundle one that's like Pirates of the Caribbean and Star Wars Lego and stuff for a holiday. And I was like going, well, I can get 6 Lego games for like £25. I was just like, I think it's the thing. If it was a brand new Lego game, probably wouldn't be so bad. But yeah, the price point on what is worrying me is when I hear people go, oh, you get 12 to 15 hours worth of content out of the main storyline. I go, but it's £90. I was like, I don't know, it's a sticking point. But I'm like, I'm looking at Skylanders. I was in the store looking at the starter pack and go, it's half the price. But I'm thinking, it's half the price for probably the same amount of hours in the main storyline. And I kind of look at a Lego game and go, a 12-hour game is not enough to warrant that amount of money. At least, Infinity can be expensive, but this year it felt the cheapest way of jumping into it. Yeah, Karen.
I was gonna say, Infinity also feels like it's the most replay value game out there too, because I mean, I'm not trying to be biased or anything, but even though they say that some of the games are just like 8 hours play or 6 hours play, there's a lot of replay value. I don't know. I've spent countless of hours on the Rise Against the Empire playset, getting all the Minox, the holocrons, and trying to complete all the feats, and then the 3-starring. I mean, there's some missions that are tough. Like, I've mentioned before that the Death Star 2 mission, to 3-star it, it's tough, but you continuously keep going, and it's plenty of hours.
I think. I was going to just jump in there. I think like the Lego and the Skylanders, was they still have, for people that are playing those games, they're still going to have that probably replay ones of trying to collect all the things in Skylanders and collect all the bricks and all the little unlockable. They've got all the games have got that kind of thing. But I do wonder now that now you're in the store and you've got all this choice, and there's been stories on different articles. I know Andy at Family Gamer and stuff, he's been doing stuff about how, and there's been some stuff on Kodaku and stuff about how the price of this stuff is now starting to, parents are more aware of it. We're in the third or fourth generation now. People are going to have to be a lot more picky.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of like you and I are an example. I mean, before we were doing both Skylanders and Disney Infinity, I think we both have moved on to just doing Infinity. And if we do something else, it's probably going to be at a discount because there's just no way. It's too expensive.
Yeah.
But anyways, I feel like we've kind of not talked much about Skylanders, and that's actually one of my points here. Unfortunately, I feel like this one has been like a silent, not even a hit in my opinion. I hear good things about it, but then I also hear about what is this game? Yeah, and to be honest with you, the figures look cool, and then the actual vehicles are cool. But if you think about it, now we've hit a point where you're spending more than LEGO Dimensions, because LEGO Dimensions gives you a vehicle and a figure for the price of one, as opposed to Skylanders, you have to buy one and the other. And then here's another thing that kind of was tough for Skylanders. If you are a completionist, we saw one of our friends, Jason from Inquirer, had 7 starter packs. 7 starter packs. Not to mention there were variant single figures of other things. And then they had Amiibo join in with, Bowser and Donkey Kong. But the only issue with that is they're only exclusive to the Nintendo consoles, which means even if you got that starter pack, you cannot play it on your PlayStation or on your Xbox. So I don't know. It's difficult.
I think with the Skylander stuff, because people have been saying, "Oh, there's less characters this year." It's good. Like, no, the vehicles are the new characters. They've just rebranded the vehicles and you feel like you're not getting in. Oh, there's less characters this time around. Well, no, there's still 20 vehicles. They're still. To me, I don't view them any different than a character because you're still spending the same amount on them. I was picking them up and looking at them the other day, and I'm going, I've been hearing different things with the Skylander because I'm not going to lie. Once it hits discount, I'm going to be picking it up because I like the main Skylander. But I know this year I am buying the starter pack, and if I can't get, and that's all I'm going to go through. I'll just literally go for the main story with the characters in the starter pack because I'm not getting down the whole rabbit hole of buying all the different characters and stuff like I did with Swap Force and Trap Team, because I just can't afford it. It's I'm all in on Infinity, but I do like playing the other games, and I think that's the big. I'm not. The games are good. I think Skylanders have a great story. They have a great, and they've already got a mass audience of people that are into Skylanders and stuff. But the trouble is, I think for them now is they're looking, in the same section on the same aisle, they've then got Lego and Batman and Spider-Man and Star Wars and they've got all these brands around them to really completely cover them in. They did very well at the beginning because they were the market leader, and everyone's having to catch up with them. But it does feel like the excitement over them doesn't seem to be there the same. I know, specifically with our fans.
Yeah, definitely. Well, out here in America, we have an aisle for each of these, so you can imagine how huge these things are.
Well, it depends on the stores. It depends on the type of store you're in. If I go into my local Toys R Us, they'll have a section each. But in the local game stores and the supermarkets, they'll only have one section per. Not every store can have a huge aisle of them.
Yeah, that's right. Well, what I was going to say is, there's definitely a variety out there for everybody. I mean, Skylanders, like you said, it was the trendsetter. They did create the category in gaming. And no, their stories are cool. It's just, I don't know. This one is just, I enjoyed what I got to play at E3. And not to mention the actual car vehicles, they actually roll like actual toy cars, which is cool.
Well, that was one thing I was just going to add on there, was the fact that this year they seem to have made them more toy-like.
Yeah, they're definitely something that you can use and play with, and especially for the kids, it gives you outside of the television and console gameplay. So it's cool. But as far as as far as standing out or keeping people wanting to play. I don't know. I keep hearing a lot about Disney Infinity and Lego Dimensions, but it feels like Skylanders was talked about for a week and then that's it. So I hope it kind of picks up a little bit more for them because some of their stuff is cool. It's just as far as competitors go all around, I feel like the stronger ones are definitely Infinity and Lego Dimensions. Obviously Skylanders is probably the more silent hit, I guess I would say. Amiibo, it's just a figure. I still will never understand the gameplay for Amiibos, but yeah.
Well, I was going to say on the Amiibo front, I think there is actually a big hitter this year for them, the Mario Maker. The Mario Maker game.
Oh, that's true. I've heard about that.
It's a massive game and I think in terms of the audience that sort of are playing Lego and things, Mario Maker is a big game. It's creative, so there's been lots of talk about how the Mario creator. I mean, I haven't got around to playing it yet, but it's one thing that keeps tempting me with the Wii is that game. And it's like, well, yeah, you can create levels in Infinity, but I think the idea it's a lot easier in Mario because you're creating one particular type of game. It's a bit easier, but obviously you have the Amiibos and stuff. But I think in the store you can see all these Amiibos, but there's more and more Amiibos. Nintendo are starting to get out more figures. The buzz over each of these characters are starting to they've started to ramp up their production. I don't know if the Amiibo craze was so much because people were flipping them and trying to make money and couldn't get hold of them. As they become more and more and more available, that buzz is is dying down. It doesn't feel like the excitement, and they've turned people off. They've turned people off over the last year with people going, I can't buy these things. I'm fed up of this. I just want to go in the store and buy it. And that made a big impact.
Yeah, but as far as for the Amiibo usage in Mario Maker, though, it's only been 2 different Amiibos, and they're basically the same Amiibo except one variant.
But if you put down the Amiibo, I think you can then you can play that character on the screen. It's the first time you can do that. So that's kind of been a bigger difference. You can play like Sonic riding around or doing them Super Mario level because
you can actually do all of the characters now because I thought they were limited to. Okay,
it might be limited. I know I've seen like Sonic and stuff, and you can jump up and down. You can do level. So that's kind of adding that. There's no point in denying the fact that in that store, like I said, I was in the game store, and there was the whole middle section of the shop was literally Lego Dimensions, Skylanders, Amiibo. That all 4 of them are all in the same. I'm standing in the store going, what? Half the store is now of this video game store has now been dedicated to Toys for Life. That's literally, standing there going, this whole section of the middle of this game store, and now all the video games are all going around the outside, and all the Toys for Life are all in the middle, taking up so much more game space. If for example, the new WWE game comes out tomorrow, it's only going to get like a little DVD cover box, maybe a couple of them. Now Infinity have got this huge section sort of going by me, or Lego has got. It's just, there's no doubt that these games are huge space. They take up so much space in these stores, and that creates their own advertising.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I mean, some of these, figures, the quality, they look great, and obviously they've turned a lot of gamers into collectors. So, no, it's just interesting.
Yeah. It's definitely been an interesting couple of weeks, I think, and it's going to be to see what happens in the run up to the holiday season. Amiibo, they've kind of got constant waves. They're not really tied into any particular brand. I do wonder with like Skylanders, they'll have different figures and stuff coming out, but the main core game is out there. I think this Black Friday, this coming up in the US, that's going to be a major event. I think we're going to see a lot of discounts from Skylanders and Infinity. I'm really not sure on the Lego guys. They don't seem to be. I don't know if they're going to get it.
I doubt it. Lego doesn't do discounts. I mean, they do, but not like they do for the others.
But I can see the other guys really kind of going, right, we need to get those starter packs into people's hands. And I'm going to it's like the Lego stuff. If they can get that Lego set, that starter pack cheaper, they're going to, and not even bother with the other characters, they're going to get people hooked. But And I think Skylanders and Infinity understand this. Infinity have known this for years. They've already been doing stores have already been doing sales on Infinity pretty much since week one. I think they're going to go in heavy in the holiday season. I think that the minute it's like, oh, we need to make as much money as we can now at full price. But once that holiday thing, they're going to need to get those starter packs in people's hands.
Yeah, definitely, I agree with you.
Because that's the key, really. If you get the starter pack in somebody's hands, they're more likely to go out and buy a character. Now, if I walk into the store and saw Superchargers at half price, I'm going to pick it up. But then once I'm in it, I go, oh, I'd quite like the look of that character. Same with LEGO Dimensions. Lego's Dimension needs to come down by about a quarter to be the same price. But it's there is that thing of it's really going to, if they get that, they didn't, it's quite funny really with Lego. They didn't really sort of get that concept of trying to get people to buy the starter pack. It's almost like, right, it's Lego, you will buy it and you will pay for it and be done with it.
Well, it's kind of like at E3 or even at San Diego Comic-Con. Disney Infinity was giving. They were basically like the Oprah of the Toys to Life. You get a figure and you get a figure and then Lego and even Skylanders were like, nope.
But Skylanders were quite often given away like an exclusive event figure.
I'm sorry. I take that back. They were giving away the vehicle. I meant to say Amiibo and Lego Dimensions, especially Lego Dimensions, because finally got to play it at Comic-Con. Only E3 they only gave you a visual, but they still didn't give you anything. In fact, they gave you, if you pre-ordered the game at Comic-Con, they gave you a shirt.
Yeah. Well, I think with Lego Dimensions, they were very, very poor at getting their idea out before that game hit, because there's a lot of confusion of who people going, well, what is this game? And people didn't really see the gameplay very much beforehand. Everyone's now going, well, it's just a Lego game. But people didn't really kind of get it. I've been watching some of the YouTube videos and stuff of people playing it, and yeah, I think the promotion side, but they're new to this kind of era, and maybe there was the idea of, they've done loads of Lego games before. They don't need to because they've got all these licenses and they're not. But I do think they missed out on the idea of getting that starter pack at a decent price to get people hooked. Because when Disney Infinity launched, they went in hard. They went in so hard to get people away from Skylanders.
Oh, yeah. And I'm not going to lie, I think it worked.
Well, I mean, literally, with Disney Infinity, when they launched, they went, it's not so much I'll be honest, the UK, we didn't get that. But in America, you guys were getting half-price discounts straight. And I don't know if it caused maybe a problem going forward, because everyone's expecting that. Like when Free Point was coming out, people were like, well, where's all the deals? Where's all the deals? And going, well, I'm like, and I remember sort of sitting there going, well, why would they give you video games make all their money in the first month? They're not going to.
I was going to say that's the point. They do that to you the first and second time around, because that way the third time around, you already want it, and oh wait, sorry, it's full price. Oh no figure for you this time. It's just.
But I feel like with every video game, that's how video games. The video game comes out at full price, and then it goes cheaper over time. That's the Infinity kind of got you hooked, but it was I never fully understood the expectation of it to be in half price on day one. Was never. It was like, well, that's not really the point of it. They already made the starter pack the cheapest they possibly could. It was, and I do think that I still think it's a great marketing move. They maybe didn't realize what Lego were going to do with that pricing, but yes, when you're in the store and you see, when I see the Disney Infinity single disc on its own in the UK store for £25, or Lego Dimensions is over there for £100, or even the starter pack is £40 for Dimensions or for Skylanders or Infinity. That's a big difference. I could go in that store if I was a kid, and you got £100 for Christmas or £100 for your birthday. You could walk out with one starter pack for Dimensions, or you could walk out with both Infinity and Skylanders and probably a figure of each for the same price. For a kid with unlimited budget, that's going to be a big issue.
Yeah, no, definitely. I don't know. It's been an interesting launch for all of these. I guess with time, it's still fresh. It's still obviously Infinity already hit the month mark. I know these other two are catching up, getting close to that month mark, and I don't know. It's been an interesting launch for everybody. I like to see what happens when the next waves come out, and to see who's staying on top.
Yeah, because if you sort of view October is kind of like the time that they're all just going to be on the shelves, getting people buying them. It's that season. I mean, there's so many big games coming out this season. You've got Fallout, Battlefront. You know, you've got the Nathan Drake collection. You've got Halo. You've got all these different games all coming out, all grabbing for people's attention. It's the biggest time of the year for video games, just before the Christmas period, and there's a lot out there, and they all need to be out there and everything. But like I said, I think Disney made the great call of getting out early, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can get this platform thing done right, where they can be more continuous. I think that's where the straws that it's going to really hit, especially if Lego are pushing them at the other end.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's going to be it's definitely going to be interesting to see when we get to that point with Lego, because they're the ones that are claiming that's how it's going to be. I mean, I remember when Infinity launched and they were claiming that their stuff was going to be forward and backward compatible, and once we got the 2.0, that was not the case. So I'm very interested to see what Lego does. So
yeah, I think they're level packed the way they're going to stretch them out. But then they're talking, you know, you're not going to need a starter pack for a while, but I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting. I think it's hot. You know, the launch has been a video for Toys to Life fans. It's been a great 6 weeks. You know, lots of content, lots of things out there. It can be expensive if you like all of them. And I think we have seen a lot more people maybe being a bit more picky. I mean, I think even with the Infinity fans, people are being a lot more sort of picky over what they do and stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
No. Well, anyway, guys, we're going to pretty much leave that on there. Next week's show, we're going to be discussing all of the New York Comic-Con information that came out about the Marvel. So a big thank you for joining in. Remember to check out our Patreons at sortapps.com and also magicbandcollectors.com. A big thank you to also James at Infinity Museum. And yeah, big thank you to everyone. Remember to check us out at DisKingdom.com, or on Facebook and Twitter, etc. And a big thank you to A for joining me again for this one.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Okay, and we'll be back next week with another show. See you later, guys.
Adios, amigos.
Adios, amigos.
Dude, there's a guy walking behind you.